Chef, Joe, how you guys doing? Doing my book report. It's The Big Miss by Hank Haney. Basically, it's his biography on the steps that he's taken to get where he's at in his career today. Hank Haney, if you guys don't know who he is, he's one of the world's best golf instructors. Probably made famous by his years with Tiger Woods, but he's done a lot prior to him and after him. Hank Haney, it all started as far as golf with his father. His father actually played on the PGA Tour during the Ben Hogan era, and so Hank was had the privilege to basically hang around touring professionals from a really young age. He was around PGA Tour events every weekend with his dad, and was inside the ropes watching some of the best swings in the world. And so um, Hank always had a great eye, I guess you could say, for what a good golf swing should look like and what good contact on a ball should sound like. So he was privileged in that. His dad played golf on the PGA Tour for a number of years, but realized that he wasn't going to be able to do it for a long period of time, and that he was good but not great. And so life after golf for his father started down in Odessa, where he became a club pro at an Odessa country club, and where that happened to be is where Hank also went to college, and so it became extremely convenient for those two to basically feed off each other in helping grow each other. Hank got a full ride at Odessa College to play golf, and he too, like his father, played a little bit of professional golf, but he realized that he wasn't going to make it. You know, as a lot of us teaching pros aspire to be actually touring pros, but then realize that there's a different level out there, and that's what Hank realized in college. And so he was kind of lucky to learn it at a young age, and so he decided to go work for his father at his golf course. And like I said earlier, his father had some great connections in the golf industry, had some great connections with the PGA Tour, which for a teaching pro, that's everybody's dream to land a tour player. And so through his father, Hank Haney's first big tour player was by the name of Mark O'Meara. Now, Mark O'Meara is a multi-win. He's a champion on tour. He's won majors. He's won several tournaments. And why Mark O'Meara is so, I guess you could say, important to Hank Haney is because that was the connection to Tiger. When Mark O'Meara started with Tiger Woods, or sorry, when Hank Haney started with Mark O'Meara, Tiger Woods was being coached by Butch Harmon. Well, Tiger and Mark O'Meara were actually next door neighbors. So the four of them, Hank Haney and Mark O'Meara, Tiger, and Butch Harmon, spent a lot of time together on each other's ranges and practicing at the same facilities, just because those two lived so close together, and they actually were really good friends. So that's kind of how the relationship started. When Tiger was going to split ways with Butch, they asked, Mark O'Meara asked Tiger, why don't you think about going and hearing what Hank has to say about your swing? And in the book, Hank kind of says how particular Tiger is about his swing, and Tiger's real knowledgeable. And so Tiger walks up to Hank, the way the story goes, and he says, I'll give you 5 minutes to tell me what's the number one thing you should do to fix my golf swing. And a little bit about Tiger's swing is what made it famous from Butch is that, and I don't know how much you know about the golf swing, but Butch made Tiger famous because of how far he hit the ball and how high he hit the ball at the same time. And the way you do that is you create a really steep angle of attack from the top of your backswing all the way down to the impact. What that does, though, is put a lot of strain on your left knee. And Hank prides himself in this book saying that he saw the future for Tiger, which is if he didn't change that, he'd be bitten by the injury bug. And although Tiger is bitten by the injury bug now, Hank believes that he prolonged that to happen when he was with Tiger. And so Hank, in his 5 minutes, basically told him that he'd flatten out his swing. And what flattening out the swing means is not having such a steep angle of attack. And Tiger, that was his number one goal, and that's why him and Butch weren't seeing eye to eye. And so the relationship began. Under Hank, Tiger won 8 majors, which is the largest number of major victories a coach has ever won with a player, partnered with a player. They won over 60 golf tournaments, which is an unheard amount of golf tournaments. Hank went from being the coach of Mark O'Mara and working at his dad's golf course to now being the world's best instructor, teaching the world's greatest golfer, maybe arguably the greatest golfer to ever play the game. And so his life, completely changed, did a huge 180. Hank also prides himself on what he does with the youth of golf, trying to help grow the game. Hank has 4 golf academies around the country that the book talks about how he constantly wants to give back, constantly wants to grow the game, constantly wants to encourage kids to pick up golf clubs, get kids off the streets and onto golf courses. And Hank prides himself in that. And he does it through his 4 facilities. Hank basically ends the book by saying that when Tiger went through the large scandal that everybody knows about with his personal life, Hank really didn't agree with what was going on, and so it'd probably be a once-in-a-lifetime type of deal where the coach actually leaves the player, and that's what happened. Not many people probably would leave Tiger Woods, because not only does it bring you a lot of recognition, but like he said in his book, it brought him a lot of money and a lot of opportunity. And but the I guess morals between the two of them just didn't align correctly, and Hank wanted to split ways, and that's what he did after the large scandal. And Hank told Tiger that he wouldn't be his coach for any longer, and then Tiger moved on and Hank moved on. Now Hank still with Mark O'Mara throughout this whole time, and still to this day goes back, and is completely fine, and that's when he started the whole TV series, the Haney Project on the Golf Channel, which you might have heard about. But that was basically Hank Haney's journey that he explained in the book. It was a great read. I recommend it to both of you. And it was really cool learning about how one of the best golf instructors kind of found his path through using his dad as ultimate resource, and kind of falling in a lucky situation that his first touring pro just so happened to be best friends with the best golfer in the world. So read the book. Enjoyed your guys' class, and I will see you around. Have a good one, guys.